Mike, you always yeah, you talk about after the loss, the team never seems to show any lingering effects. They always tend to bounce back. What do you attribute that to? I mean, compared to years back.
I think probably there's pretty good leadership within the team. I think that probably the coaches have done a good job of pointing out, hey, this is what happened. This is what we got to work on. And I think that it's important for the coaches to maintain a kind of levelness about that. I mean, everybody's disappointed, but I always tell them nobody has the right to act and be more disappointed than the next guy. You don't get to be that guy that gets to mope around and be sad because what is that about anyway? So I think there's just probably some maturity to this team. It's pretty good.
You like having a game like this at the end of the season, or thoughts about having to play a team like this versus at the beginning?
I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I think it's great for us right now to play a game. I think we can play this game and kind of hopefully get a win, work hard to get a win, and play better. We just need to play well. I don't think we played exceedingly well in the last game. We got sloppy and turned the ball over. We need to play well, and and then I think that'll help us going in, to the next game after that.
So now you had some time to look at what they do. I mean, what are your thoughts of Nickel State and things you're going to have to do?
Well, I think we have to think about what they're doing, what they've been practicing doing for quite a while since they had a game. We only got 4 games on them. We got to look at them, and we have to prepare for that, and then just be sound, play sound football.
You said 4 games. Is that hard to get?
No, that's probably, yeah, that was the agreement they wanted to make, was a 4-game exchange, so that's what we did.
These last 2 years, might be 2 of the craziest consecutive years in your career. Do you think it's kind of a nice ending to, start those 2 years with Sacramento State and have the loss and the season you had last year, and then come to this great season and end it with a Nickel State, kind of a similar opponent as far as?
Yeah, I don't, the scenarios of football, we think everything's all set, but as we know, you can't count on it. So you have to be adjustable, and having this game flip from the first to the last is kind of strange, but you just take it as it comes, and I look at it as an opportunity for this team to turn around a 3-9 year and make it 9-3, and that's a pretty good turnaround.
When you look at the last game, what were some of the teachable moments that maybe you found or true learning experiences from?
Well, there's lots of them, all in every game, but I think that how detailed and how close some things are to either where you make the play or you don't. If we get a sack on 4th and 7 instead of the quarterback running, that's a big deal. If we get a stop on 3rd and 17 when we just scored and we were down by 3, that's a just inches of making the play, not making the play, maybe the difference. You can if and but forever, but those are huge plays, and they're small things. A little bit better position on the punt return by Marcus, no fumble, we keep the ball. It just shows you how finite, how small some of these things are that make great big differences in a game. It's both hard to take, but they're teachable moments, and that's how football is.
Doing any extra work on special teams this week?
Yeah, and what's funny about that, Phil, there was a ton of great special team stuff. I thought Bruce Reed's idea about how to punt the ball to DeAnthony Thomas was brilliant, and it worked perfectly. And Keith Costel executed it well, and our players were there. We had some big-time kickoff returns, maybe a couple of our best of the year. So it gets clouded, right, by a couple of sloppy plays. And so we work hard on special teams all the time, and frankly, most of the game that we had against Oregon was pretty darn good. But just as you just pointed out, just because you noticed it, it looked like it was a bad special teams day. It was 2 plays, really.
Mike, with what happened, with Tedford in Berkeley and then Embry only getting 2 years in Colorado, I mean, you went through a 3-9 season and nobody here really thought that there was any sort of jeopardy to your job. I mean, what do you attribute that to? Is it just the culture? Is it that they trust you? I mean,
I went into hiding. Nobody could find me and point that out to me. I don't know. I think that I think I've got people here. I know the game, right? I mean, I'm not being naive, but I think there's people here that know what we do and how we do it, and we've been given the opportunity to go for a long time. 12 years at a place in our business is relatively rare, and I want to make it longer. So we need to have more years like this and just keep going so we can keep this program going, because I think the program in football and the program with what we're doing with the kids inside the program is at an all-time high. And I just want more chances to keep it growing and keep our coaches here. I've got the best people in the world to surround these kids with. So, I think it's a rough business. It's the greatest job in the world, but it's a rough business. And, we're not naive to the fact that you have to go win games. But we also do a lot of other work, I think, that is real good. And I think some people around here know that.
It's got to be great for you just to have that feeling like you could have a season like that and not have to look over yourself.
Well, I think even with what people might think or their opinions of it, the biggest critics that we have are ourselves, right? I mean, the most disappointed, no matter how disappointed somebody might be, a fan or a booster or somebody in administration, nobody's more disappointed than we are. We put lots of time into this thing. There's a real pride in what we do. We're really proud of our team, and if we fail, there's nobody more disappointed. So the biggest pressure put on us is not from out there, it's from right in here. We want to win, and we don't stay up here till 1 in the morning, just to look at the internet and see what everybody thinks about us. We no, we like this, and we want to make it last. So we work at it real hard, and that's it. It's fun. We're not breaking rocks or anything either. So it's a fun job.
Do you ever think back to last year and just, to gain perspective on how far this team has come in such a short time?
Oh, I do a little bit, but I don't look back. I've now in coaching, the one thing I have is perspective. My dad coached for 40 years. I've seen him have great years and get fired. And then, I've won championships and then I've gotten fired. I have perspective. So I only look back at what we can learn from. And I know what we're doing differently with our football team than we did a year ago, just strategically that has helped. And I also know the most important thing is development of players. And there's a lot of change in a lot of guys that help us win this year. So, and sometimes you go through a cycle where you're behind in the development, or you're playing younger guys like we did, or you have some injuries and we're not very deep. So those things all pile up. And so we're realistic to know what those kinds of problems are, and hopefully we do enough work to know what else we need to do. And that's kind of also the fun part of it, looking at your team and trying to set a plan for who you're going to be.
That's kind of a testament to these guys, because most of them are returning from last year too.
Yes, exactly. I think that the real work done was starting in January by this team physically, an investment they made to go work hard, because there were some good players, but obviously we were coming off of 3-9, so something had to change, right? And they worked. They just flat out went to work. Like we added Isaac Samalo, which has been a real big improvement. But the 4 guys that are playing with him, they're all better players than they used to be, and they are all more physical. We were not good enough a year ago on the offensive line. We didn't play well enough. But we're playing pretty good now. Those guys, and the reason is Isaac and those other 4, they all got better. They all got stronger, they all got smarter, they all just got better.